It's time again for Shasta College football. It's nighttime. All right, welcome to Nighttime, Shasta County Sports Weekly Look at Shasta College football. Aaron Williams here, not with Brian Hamilton this week, but I have Coach Craig Thompson here. Coach, I know you've been doing this for a long time. Did you ever think when you started coaching that you'd be doing a podcast?
Well, that's an interesting point because, no, I would have never thought or even imagined what a podcast was. So when I started coaching back in 1988, when I came here to Shasta College in 1991, the internet wasn't even really out there yet.
Yeah, so I mean, it's old school coach and new tricks with us, but I promise we'll be painless. You guys are coming off a bye week. Probably came at the best time. Take me through a little bit of that process. You guys are you drop those 2 road games. You get the bye week. You get a chance to get healthy and kind of collect yourself, don't you, before conference starts?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Of course, you don't want to go into your bye week on a kind of like a negative note with two road losses like we did. But at the same time, it did come at the right time. It's allowing us to do a lot of different things within the program for this time off to kind of get ourselves regrouped, get guys healthy, like you said, and rested up. It's been a grind that first 5 weeks, and we're dealing with a lot of heat and all that kind of stuff through all that time period. So just a time to kind of just hit the brakes a bit, get ourselves mentally focused, get ourselves sharp again on aspects of what mistakes we've been making, and really kind of just try to clean up a lot of stuff. And then, of course, through the process of getting yourself mentally, prepared and physically rested up, now you have that extra time to start applying, towards your game plan for your first league game, which we've been able to do as well. So, like everybody who's on the bye, they're getting extra time to get themselves prepared for that last half of the season, but that first, conference game, which is going to be really, really vital for us to get ourselves in the right direction against American River.
And it's people think, all right, we're 5 weeks into the season, but it's further than that, right? I mean, you guys are working in the summer and before that, and I know we came off the weird COVID and then into fall, and so it's been kind of a grind. That break, I know you guys took a couple days off. That break really has to be kind of more, I guess, mentally more than anything, right?
Well,
you just reset yourself?
Yeah, it really is something that's just, you physically need it because you are kind of getting a little worn out, the players and the coaches, to be honest with you. But mentally, you really just need to take that break and kind of also just reconnect with your family a little bit as well. So we did mix it up a little bit this year. We kind of we kind of flipped our bye week routine. We went ahead and gave the young men of course, we played on a Saturday, and they had the Sunday off, the Monday off, and the Tuesday off, and then we got them back here on the Wednesday of last week. And in the past, we typically went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gave them the Thursday, Friday, and then, of course, the weekend off leading into this week for the game. But they still had the weekend off before the game. So it was just a different routine how we did it, and I think it's something that at that time was very beneficial for us to get that break right away. Just kind of get away from everything, let the players get away from everything, and then come back on Wednesday and kind of get after it again and get ourselves focused in the right direction. And from my perspective, I think the young men really responded well. We've been having, really good, focused, practice with a great purpose out there.
Yeah, I know. I was at a practice, and I know you mentioned that today was a good day. We're taping this on a Wednesday, and that you said, today's been a good day. Do you think that time away allows you to kind of say, all right, I've got 5 games left. I better, if I'm a player, I better make the most of this.
Well, yeah, it definitely does. All of a sudden you're at the halfway point in the season, and you kind of realize how quickly that first half went by, and now you're jumping into the part that really counts. And the other thing too is we really emphasize the point that we're starting equals to everybody. We're all 0-0 right now as we enter the bye, from the bye into our conference season. So it's a whole new season for us, and it was just that opportunity to get guys, re-geared, refocused, recommitted, And then also just, overcoming the adversity that we had been going through during that first part of the season, and getting the guys back here and just getting themselves focused on, well, what can we do to overcome that? Well, let's go to work and let's get better. And what areas do we need to improve upon? And let's correct those areas, and let's improve upon our weaknesses, and go out there and just do this together as a full unit. So I've been proud of how the team has responded, and I'm expecting some good results going out there on a Saturday night.
You mentioned it. Everybody's 0-0. How, as a coach, I think that's kind of an easy mentality to have. But as a player, you're like, oh, we're 2-3.
Yeah.
But at the same time, American River's coming in 2-3.
Yeah.
How important is that to stress to these guys? We're starting off 0-0. We can win conference.
Yeah. Well,
and it starts this week, right?
Yeah, it does. It starts this week. I mean, the road for a conference championship starts this week. Of course, the first 5 games do matter. I mean, it does matter. But in the big scheme of things for conference, everything from this point forward now is what really matters. With the young men in the program, as well as the coaches and everything else, I guess a real important thing is that when you really assess and look what happened to our first 5 games coming off the 2-3 or 2-3 record, we kind of looked at, so much of it was not so much us being physically beaten and dominated by another team where they just came out and kicked our butts and whipped us and we didn't have a chance. A lot of the stuff that happened to us was at our own expense, where we just went out there and kind of sabotaged our own opportunities. And whether we're not playing well on defense, or at times not playing well on offense, or at times giving up bad plays on special teams, we just had enough of those type of things throughout that first 5 games that prevented us from having a better record coming into the conference season.
Does that extra bye week, does that allow you to really kind of focus on those intangibles, holding on to the ball, not making bad decisions on offense, not playing assignment football on defense?
Yeah, well, absolutely, and that was the big thing that we did as coaches. And having that first few days off without the players here on Monday and Tuesday actually gave us extra time to kind of break down those things and identify those things, and the analytics, I guess you want to call it that. But we really did do that, and really kind of develop the game plan that we have to put together to improve in all those areas that we have we're just deficient. So we have to get better in those areas, and in all aspects of the program, offense, defense, and special teams. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting back to the basics as well. But we're a young roster, and kind of got back to some of the basics and identify what areas we have to really improve upon, and taking the right steps to make sure that we're trying to do that.
It's kind of like that old adage that if you ask an elephant to climb a tree, he's going to fail, right? You've got to build upon your strengths and on both offense, defense, and special teams, right? You've got to take that time to figure out, all right, we've got Gabe Curtis under center. What does he do well? What do our backs do, and that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. And I think after 5 games now, we as a coaching staff truly do have a good, strong grasp of what our team is capable of doing and not capable of really doing. And that's our job, to make sure we're putting them in the best position to have success at all positions. There's going to be some shuffling as we go into this next game with some of our lineups at all positions to a certain extent, because we just identified that plugging some different people in these type of situations and these roles enhances our overall offensive unit or defensive unit or special teams unit. So some of that has taken place. It's taken us time to identify some of those type of issues related to personnel. And now, go out there and put that personnel in a position to have success.
You're 0-0. American River's coming in 0-0.
Yeah.
They're at 2-3 as well. This is one of those kind of, you gotta have it. What do you expect out of American River? I mean, you've played them for several years now. What do you expect them coming up here to be able to do?
Well, first of all, the one thing you could always say about American River is that they're always a very well coached football team. And again, they're a team that their record does not reflect how good of a football team they are. They've had a pretty massive turnover with their personnel across the board, and they've been playing platooning different quarterbacks. And I just think they're in a situation where they're still trying to find out, their personnel and their combination of people to make everything work for winning football. but they're going to be a well-coached football team. They're going to come up here hungry. I guarantee you they're a team that has no quit in them, and they're looking at this thing as a fresh start as well. Coach Osterhout's going to have that team ready to come up here and play, and they've had our number, and we've had some close competitive battles with them, but they've had our number the last couple of years. And I know they're coming up here to get themselves started in the league play and get themselves back to the top of the league standings, because they're the defending champs, and they're looking to get back into that position to defend that that title.
But lastly, Coach, it's got to be good to be home. Last time you were home was I was in Hawaii. You guys were here. It was in the middle of September, and here we are in the middle of October. It's got to be great to be playing at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, it's always great to play here at home. We have the best, I think, just the overall best atmosphere for home games, best crowds for home games that you'll see in the North State. But yeah, it's been a long time. We had that great win here against DVC for our Hall of Fame game. And then we've been on the road for 2 weeks, and those are kind of long trips. One of them being all the way down to Visalia, which is an overnight trip, and a 7-hour bus trip, and then going to the bye week. So it just kind of extends that time away from home and away from being on the football field. So yeah, it's been a month as we get ready to go into the home game on Saturday night, and we're excited about that, and want to get that winning tradition going again and keep it going.
Yeah, fans come out, pack Memorial Stadium Saturday, 6 p.m. If you can't be here, Shasta County Sports will have the broadcast. Coach, I think you did pretty well with your first podcast. Okay, I'll give you an A+.
All right, well, thank you. That was kind of fun and exciting and different.
You've been listening to Nighttime with Brian Hamilton. I'm Aaron Williams for Shasta County Sports. Nighttime is a Shasta County Sports production brought to you by Shasta Orthopedics.